No.
Schwink, 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 schwink.
Schwang, schwang.
All right, so the game I'm reviewing tonight is Samurai Warriors 5. This is obviously the 5th entry in the Samurai Warriors series. I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch, though this is available on every modern console. I don't, you know what? I should have probably done the research before doing this so I could get
We
all
usually have a
the
guide
normal
for that.
details.
I got it. Hold on.
Yeah, okay. He's gonna do that. While he's doing that, I will I'll kind of give you some of the other stuff. So this is if you're unfamiliar with this style of game, they call this genre the Muso genre. And as far as I know, the only games in this genre are made by this same company. They're all in this series. And this started out with the Dynasty Warriors series. The first game, actually, Dynasty Warriors 1 is just a Dinosaur Warriors. Yes, Dynasty Warriors 1 is just a fighting game. The first actual Muso game was Dynasty Warriors 2, and that was like large field open combat, and kind of what the appeal to these games is. You're fighting like just tons and tons of people all at the same time, and you're like taking down, like by the time you're finished with a single battle, you may have killed like single-handedly well over 1,000 combatants. You know, you're just kind of like a monster, like super overpowered, sweeping through, slashing and charging, and doing like the signature. What gives the series its name is your Muso attack. Gives the genre its name. Your Muso attack is like a big like super attack. It's literally just one button once it's charged up.
Attack.
And
it's a big soup attack.
It's a miso attack. There you go.
Yeah,
it's a
your
big
miso soup attack. Yeah. But yeah, so these games are pretty formulaic. They've been around for a long time. Not a lot has changed in these games other than graphics and this and that. Great. But there's just something, there's some kind of allure to it. There's something to be said about like mindlessly going in and destroying a bunch of things. The other really cool thing about these games is that they're all based in, well, most of them. There's obviously spin-offs like the Zelda, Hyrule Warriors, and I think there's Gundam Warriors.
Gundam Dynasty Warriors, yeah.
Yeah. Things like that. So there's spin-offs, but the mainline series, the Dynasty Warriors games and the Samurai Warriors games are based on actual history, and all the characters in the games are actual historical figures. The Dynasty Warriors games are based on like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era. So you've got all those characters, and then the Samurai Warriors games are based on the Sengoku era in Japan, which would be like the Warring States period, the kind of like feudal period in Japan. So this is developed by Omega Force, I believe. What's the name of the distributor? I think it's
the Koei Tecmo.
Oh, Koei Tecmo. Yep. Koei Tecmo. That's correct. Nailed it.
Wow. I pulled that out of my ass.
Dude, you nailed it.
Well done, Josh.
You know who should do a collab is Dark Souls and them. They should do a Dark Souls Warriors.
It's funny you say that, actually. And I'll get to that before by the end. This is a rumor.
No. You can't just.
I'll say the rumor right now.
That make it too easy. If it was that easy to just wipe
we'll pump the
away.
brakes a little bit. It's not the Dark Souls people. It's not FromSoft that would be doing this. But there is a rumor. There's a rumor that the next Dynasty Warriors game is going to be made by Team Ninja, who is the team who did the Neo games, as well as the not Shinobi. What's the other ninja stuff? I'm blanking on it.
Sekiro.
I got it.
Well, no, Sekiro is FromSoft, but
it's still FromSoft.
Anyway, so that's a rumor. There's definitely
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden. Thank you. I said half the name. Damn.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, so back on track with the review. Omega Force, Koei Tecmo. This game released on July 27th, 2001. I'm playing it on the Switch, but it is available on Switch, PC, PS4, Xbox One. so you can get on anything. What I like about this game, so what they did with this game was, instead of continuing and doing basically the same game over and over again, like they typically do with these games, they completely rebooted it and started from the very beginning of the Sengoku period.
That's dope.
Focusing specifically on the relationship between Nobunaga Oda, who is like kind of like the first unifier of Japan, and Mitsuhide Keiichi, who, spoiler alert, he's the guy who ended up betraying Nobunaga. And
it's history. Does it count as a spoiler?
It is history, so yeah, it doesn't really count as a spoiler.
It's kind of their fault if they don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not. Well, I mean, it's Japanese history, which is not like super common stateside, right? True. Unless you intentionally,
unfortunately,
seek that
Japanese
stuff out.
history is so cool.
It's so freaking cool.
It's so cool, yeah. So much cooler than U.S. history, where we just stole this shit for a beads necklace.
Well,
anyway,
there's Josh telling it like it is, everybody.
Anyway.
So back on track. So another thing that I like about the game is, other than the complete redesign, they've, like done a total workover on all of the characters and the design of the game. It's got kind of this almost like painted look to it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that quite a bit. The move sets are pretty typical, but you do have kind of extensive skill trees for each character, tons of weapons. Again, these kind of things don't make a ton of difference in a Musou game, full disclosure, but it is still nice to have those options. It makes you kind of feel like you're doing something. In addition to that, there's a few different modes. You've got your story mode, which is very long. I've streamed this game several times, and for minimum of 2 hours per stream. And I'm still not through the first character's story.
My God.
Yeah, so it's actually surprisingly long, which is good if you want a lot of content.
Yeah.
And then there's like they call it, I think, Citadel Mode, which allows you to kind of do much smaller mission-based or like objective-based missions to be able to make your expand your castle and upgrade different aspects like your weaponsmith and things like that, your dojo and all that, to be able to
oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's nice. They've added some extra little touches here and there. What I didn't like about this game, I mean, when it boils down to it, it is just another Warriors game. It is just another Musou game, which, if that's what you want, great. Absolutely, it's fantastic. I would say this is definitely one of the best Musou games. But it's kind of like Call of Duty. Like, what if you've played one, you've kind of played them all. So it like what this game really brings to the table is the story and the history, and that's really kind of the highlight of the game. You're not really necessarily playing it for the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? One aspect of Musou games that I do really appreciate is there's more of a focus later on in the games on strategy than, obviously like skill, because it doesn't take a lot of skill to mash buttons and slay people. But being at the right place at the right time, in these, like being at like pivotal points in the battle is important. So, that's something that can be said for most of the Musou games, I would say.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
How was the story? Was it engaging? Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent story because it's history, and it's very engaging, and it takes a deeper look into some of these characters. Like I said, it really focuses more on some of these like the relationship between these like very pivotal characters during this time, which is pretty cool, I would say. How's the gameplay? Was it fun? Again, it's same old Dynasty Warriors Musou gameplay. So if you enjoy that, you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy playing Hyrule Warriors for more than just the fact that it's Zelda, you're gonna enjoy this, right? If you get that same kind of like fatigue that a lot of people get, playing these types of games, maybe it's not for you, or maybe like for me, it's something that I've always enjoyed in the proper doses. You know,
yeah, it definitely has its amount. Yeah, for me, it's
yeah.
the type of game you can't really come back to after beating for a very, very long time because you're like, oh, that game style is just like hard to
Well,
get
and
back
especially
into.
so, like one thing the game does well is it has like a bazillion different characters to choose from.
Which is
But
neat.
yeah, but the problem with that is, you know, once you, like you just said, once you've kind of played through it, like, do I really want to go back and do that? Like,
That's the thing. All the
yeah,
DLC for Hyrule Warriors, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want 10 new characters. I don't even. There's too many characters to keep up with as it is. I'm like,
right. And so, like, unless you're just in one of those moods, which, you know, like I said, some people, you know, me included, will frequently be in the mood to just turn off their brain and go smash a bunch of people. Cool. You know, but that's not all the time. It's definitely not a game I'd like to play all the time.
Right.
yeah.
They do have co-op, you know, which is cool. Online and otherwise, I believe. So that's fun. How's the art? The art's fantastic. Like I said, it's a total redesign from the series. So you're not using like the same, you know, basic models and designs for all these characters. It's a much more stylized deal, especially in like cutscenes and things like that. And like the Musos themselves, right? The supers themselves look really cool. And there's like splash screens with cool art. So that's good. The music, it seems just like traditional, like Japanese music for the most part. So it's not like necessarily something that really stands out, but it's not bad.
Right.
Sound design is fine. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a highlight of the game. It's not, again, not bad, but it's a bunch of like, you know, like clanging noises and smashing noises, right? Like you would expect in a battle.
It's standard. It makes sense.
Exactly.
It's not, you're not hearing rubber ducky noises when you hit someone's armor. Great.
I wish.
That'd be fun.
That
might, that might make
That's
it
the
a
game I want to
see.
see. Now where's Super Mario Call of Duty crossover?
Yeah.
Where the gun is like
Mario,
a rabbit.
kill 'em all. I'm trying to think what that game would even be.
That would be
That's
hilarious.
the one way to
dude.
get
Honestly,
into
dude,
Rabbids
I would totally play a Mario Muso game though. You know,
I don't even know.
That would
I don't
be.
even know how that would.
And
that
it's
would
not
be
out of the
so
realm of
awesome.
possibility. We have a Zelda Muso game.
No, it's not.
We have two.
It'd be so cool to see Mario just like exploding 1,000 Goombas at once. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. That would be where Wario shows up.
Wario, and he just like gulps
Just
like all of them, just farts like and kills 20,000 people.
Right.
Like 100%.
That would be hilarious. I'd play it.
I would play that in a heartbeat.
How long did it take me? I mean, I'm well over 10 hours in, maybe even more than that, and I still haven't beaten the game. The game is long. You know, like I'm in Act 5, I believe, on the first character. And there's a bunch of submissions and things like that. I probably could have gone through it quicker if I was only playing the mainline story missions, but I've been playing the submissions and doing the Citadel mode because that kind of like supplements the mainline missions as well. So, but like the amount of content is there. It's certainly not a problem with the game. But I couldn't tell you like an exact time it would take you to finish this game. Would I play a sequel? I mean, there's a million in these games, and I've played quite a few of them. Some of them are really fantastic. Like, you know, the Hyrule Warriors games are good. There's one that is based on the Berserk manga, which is very cool. It's Berserk. What is it? Not Brotherhood of the Fox or Hawk. Is it? No, something. I don't know. Anyway, it's very good, and it's got like the cutscenes and stuff are all from like the Berserk animated movies and stuff. They're cool. It also like fits that style like very well because you know, it is kind of fucked, but it's very good.
For those that haven't seen those movies, they're fucked, but good.
Yeah. Definitely not for children. I'll say that.
Or this podcast.
Yeah.
Off to bed, Timmy.
Overall rating and impression. So what the game does good, it does very well. So I've got to give it points for that. Because it's a Muso game, because it's, kind of the same formula that hasn't changed much over the years. Certainly they've done things to enhance it, make it feel better. It's not without its problems. One thing I didn't mention that I think is a really big problem is the camera is very fast, and you can probably see in my gameplay in the background it whipping around a lot. That's not great. But it's also kind of par for the course with these games. So I want to be fair to this game and give it a decent score for what it is. So I'm gonna say this is a solid 7.8.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Which
that's playable.
Yeah, it's I still think that's a very good score, especially for a Muso game. Like I said, if this is your niche, it's very good. If this is your niche, I would say this is like a 10, right? But I don't think this is very many people's niche. I think these games are successful enough, certainly, that they've made so many of them. But you're not going to see these games, considered for Game of the Year anytime soon.
Right.
And certainly, maybe these games are due for like a very big refresh that make it, a little more on par with modern gaming. I would love to see that, because there's something special about these games, but not enough to really, drive it home for a lot of people. So, So what I say 7.8, I think that's
very solid, very fair.
That's solid as hell.
Stick to it. This game is $59.99 full price. I would look for a sale if you're gonna pick this one up.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
So based on a seven range score, I would say wait for a sale.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Anyway, that wraps it up. Let's get back to the main here.